honesty, then you may not have thought about it.
What is up, guys? Hope you're having a beautiful day, because I'm having a beautiful day. I hope you enjoyed that little workout edit that was just there. It was a little bit of shoulders. If you want, the workout will be in the description. Check that out. In my last video, I touched on why you may not be making progress. So I want to go a little bit more in depth into that and really explain step by step on how to make progress and why you may not be making progress. So I'm going to give you a little overview of what I said in the last video. All right, so the 4 things that are going to determine whether or not you make progress are going to be time, effort, consistency, and your programming. They are the 4. I'm going to go in depth into each one of these because they all play a role and they all determine whether or not you're going to make progress. So number 1 is time, probably the most important one. It is going to be the overall determining factor of whether or not you make results. If you don't put in time, you won't get results. It's that simple. If you don't actually go to the gym and utilize your time, then you won't get results. So number 1 is time. There is also another part of the equation in time, and that is length of time. How long have you been doing it? If you've been doing it for a month, you can't really expect to have a ridiculous amount of results. This is where a lot of people falter. They go to the gym for a week, usually around the 1st of January, and then after a week, they don't see results, they quit. You can't expect to get a ridiculous amount of results in 1 week. You get what you put in. Let's say you go for 1 week and not expect to look like Arnold after 1 week. If you've been going for 1 week and you have built up a terrible repertoire of habits of, bad eating, not working out, not exercising, not moving, then you cannot expect to completely destroy all those within 1 week. If that has been built over the past 10, 15, 20 years, then that's not going to go away in a week. You need to understand that it's a marathon, not a sprint. Thinking in terms of months to years instead of days to weeks. That is number 1, probably the most important, but obviously time. You can go to the gym, you can spend all your time there, but if you're not doing anything, that's not going to get you any results, which leads me to number 2, which is effort. Effort is how hard you're actually working in the gym, or how hard you're working on your discipline in terms of your diet, exercising, fitness, etc., stretching, whatever it may be, whatever your specific goal is. You have to exert an effort towards that to actually receive results. If you are aiming to, lift heavier, let's say you want a bigger bench press, you have to exert a certain amount of energy for you to actually grow and expand and get stronger, bigger, faster. If you don't put your body through enough stress, it won't react, it won't grow. So it has to undergo a certain amount of stress. Stress, people have a terrible idea about stress. Stress is pretty necessary for life. There is bad stress, obviously, but then there's eustress, which is good stress, which is essential for growth, for improvement, everything. So you have to place a certain amount of effort into everything that you do. So if you want to get stronger on a bench press, okay, let's say you do 60 kilograms for, let's just say 5 reps. That's relatively easy. Let's say that's 70% of your maximum exertion. If you're not struggling on that, you won't grow. If you're hitting that really easy and it's not even a grind, then you wonon't grow. So you need to either up this, go more reps, do 7 reps, and then if that's still too easy, go up each week, 9 reps, 10 reps. So that progressively overloading. And the only way to progressively overload is to put enough stress on your body that it needs to change and adapt, because it doesn't like doing things that are hard. So if you put it through things that are hard, it has to make them easy. It has to adapt so they're easier. That's really the idea of growing stronger, getting bigger. Obviously, it doesn't become easier over time. It's just you get stronger. So you have to continuously exert enough effort for you to grow, get bigger, etc. Otherwise, it won't happen. Number 3, obviously, you can exert an amount of effort for a certain amount of time, let's say a week, but then you might fall off the wagon. So what you need to do is be consistent. This comes into the principle of use it or lose it. So you need to continuously batter and hit on your craft. If you are not using it, you're essentially going to lose it. That's how the theory works. If you go hard for a week to a month of a certain amount of energy and then you fall off, or let's say one day you're in the zone and then the next day you're not in the zone. So you need to build this form of habits that allows you to be completely and utterly consistent. Consistency will ultimately lead to the biggest results. If you're consistently going to the gym, let's say 5 days a week, you say, I'm gonna go 5 days. You can commit to 5 days per week. And you gotta stick to that. You gotta say, okay, I gotta do that. As well as, let's say I'm gonna eat 2,500 calories per day. You gotta stick to that. That's the thing. You gotta say, this is what I'm gonna do and I'm gonna stick to it. Otherwise, one, you don't know if it's working. Two, you're not gonna get the same amount of results. Let's say you eat 2,500 calories one day and then for some reason, you weren't that hungry, you ate 2,000 calories. Now, what the fuck's your body thinking? Your body is confused as a motherfucker. It's saying, should I be building strength? Should I be building muscle? But then let's say, you went hard, you went heavy, and then you didn't get the calories in, you're not gonna grow. Your body needs food, nutrition to grow. So you need to be consistent on all bases. You need to say, this is what I can commit to. I can commit to 5 days per week. That's what I'm gonna do. Let's say I'm doing an hour session. This is my program, I'm gonna do that. And be consistent with that. Otherwise, you'll never be able to track your results. So consistency plays such a big part in effort and time. If you're, you could be exerting different amounts of effort, so it needs to be consistent effort over a certain amount of time so that it all correlates. You can have all that, you can do all that, but you could be doing absolutely the wrong thing. So comes to number 4, proper programming. Yep, you could be doing all that. You could be working out for a certain amount of time, let's say a year, exerting a decent amount of effort. You could be consistent with that. But if you are doing the wrong shit, you're working harder, not smarter. We want to do both. We want to work hard and we want to work smart. Progressive overload is the name of the game for just about anything you want to do. Let's say it's athleticism, aesthetics, strength. You need to allow for progressive overload to happen, especially if you are trying to work for muscle growth or muscle gain. Same goes for a diet. You need to allow for something that burns a lot of calories, also is sustainable and preserves muscle. Understand, number 1 is what you really want. Like, do you want to get stronger? Do you want to become aesthetic? Do you want to get more athletic for a certain sport or lose fat? And then act accordingly. You need to properly program for that. Your goal is anything but this. You need to allow for progressive overload. Progressive overload is, for an example, we're doing 60 kilograms on the bench press. Let's say 10 reps, okay? 10 reps, and that's pretty maximal. Okay, so what you need to do, we're doing 10 reps for 4 sets. So the way progressive overload works is a number of different factors. One of people's favorites is obviously upping the weight. That's week 1. You go week 2, 62.5 kgs now for 10 reps. Same amount of reps, you've increased the weight, you've progressively overloaded. Another way you could do it is do 60 kilos for 11 reps. That's a progressive overload. Another way you could do it is 60 times 10 times 5 sets this time. Another way, there is a rest. Let's say you rested 2 minutes. You could come down here. You could rest 1 minute this time. And if you can do it, then you progressively overload. Obviously, you have to be exerting a certain amount of force to allow for progressive overload. If you're not working hard enough, or if you're working too hard, applying too much stress on the body, not allowing for certain recovery, then you won't really be able to progress. And you need to allow one for absolute demolition of your muscles and your systems, and then allow for recovery. All right guys, so that is it. That is the wrap of whether or not you'll be making progress. Number 1 is time. How long have you been doing it? 2, effort. Are you actually working hard? 3, being consistent with your time and your effort. And number 4 is proper programming. If you don't have number 4, the first 3 don't really fucking matter. They all correlate, they all matter, they all affect how you're going to make progress, if you're gonna make progress, and how you're gonna look in the long run. That's just that. 4 things, simple as that. If you tick all those boxes, you will make progress. It's that simple. 4 things. It's not that much, it's not that much. Obviously, knowing something and doing something is a lot different. You know, it's pretty easy to not eat that Mars bar or whatnot, but people still do it, you know what I'm saying? If you have any questions, leave them below. Don't hesitate to ask. I will answer every single one about this. It might be a little bit confusing. I might not have explained it as well as I possibly could. So please, do not hesitate to ask me a question. I really appreciate the feedback and the ability to help you guys. So I'm just gonna wrap the video up here. Hope you enjoyed watching because I enjoyed making it. I will catch you in the next one. Later.